Okay, so get ready with us as we get ready for a wedding where we are doing fashion illustration. We're in Lake Tahoe.
The wedding venue is in Gray Eagle, California. So pretty. We're really excited to see the venue.
How many markers did you bring?
Too many. I didn't even count them. I think I brought probably over 100.
We ended up renting this giant house. It's like a 4-bedroom.
Massive property. Really pretty though.
Next to a golf course. Have you traveled for work before? Or is this your first time?
This is my first big trip for work.
So how many live illustrations have you done so far?
On-site and illustration gigs. This will be my 4th. Rosie's wedding was my first event. Super scary, super nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun.
So Sugey then returned the favor and last year was like, hey, I have an illustration event in Lake Tahoe. Do you want to be my second?
Rosie has been wanting to get into illustration ever since her wedding, and she's already an artist. I've seen her work. So we're like, all right, you have a year to practice for live event illustration. And she did it. And now we're here. And the cool thing is that our styles are different, but we complement each other really well.
So we take the picture, right?
Yes.
Of the guests.
So during the event, as guests come in, we'll just take their photo and we're splitting it. So we're each doing about 60 guests tonight.
So we have 150 guests total. Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
6 hours for the illustration part. And if we do each one in 6 minutes, that's 10 per hour. So we'll get maybe 120 people done today.
Yeah, that's the goal. Super doable.
We'll see. I'm nervous.
We're gonna do it. Anything that we finish, we will have on display, and as guests are leaving, they can pick it up.
We got the cookie highlighter from Benefit, Hula bronzer, classic from Benefit. I just used the Pat McGrath Liquid Lust. It's the one that Taylor Swift wears for her Eras tour, but it's in a different color. And then nails is from Olive and June. So she did this for my wedding too, but I sent her photos of my wedding dress and then photos of my husband's outfit. And so she did the same thing for this bride. And she did a little portrait for them. I'll get up close so you can see all the detail of the dress. So talented. And this is a capsule.
That's what I call it. A bridal capsule. So this is the story from beginning to end. The outfit that she wore when she got proposed to, what she wore when she found her wedding dress, her bachelorette outfit, and then her dress that she wore to her bridal shower.
Hi!
We're ready.
Ready for what?
We're ready for our first collaboration on wedding illustration.
I know. It's excited.
Funny. We're going to have so much fun. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm stopping to get lunch right now. We are very dressed up for the wedding, but we ended up at a brewery that's outdoors. That's very, very low key. So we sent the husband to get the food for
Our
us.
stuff. We can't be getting dirty right now.
It's very dusty outside. They have outhouses for bathrooms, which is really cool and really retro if we weren't dressed up for a luxury event. There's hubby and baby. We made it, Sugey!
We're setting up. We're excited. It looks beautiful out here.
We're at this 10-foot table, disco ball. How are we feeling, Sugey?
A little nervous, not gonna lie, but it looks cute. I think we're ready. How are you feeling?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm also really excited. It's the calm before the storm. The wedding guests are starting to arrive, We saw the bride and the bridal party earlier today, so we have a sneak peek as to what color they're all wearing, so it's been nice.
We are tired girls this morning.
Very.
But it was so much fun.
I think we were there starting sketching from like 3:30 to 10:30. So that's like 7 hours almost of sketching. By the end of it, like my eyes were going cross-eyed. I didn't really understand. Like, couldn't process any of the colors anymore. And I was like, I don't know how to color match this.
Yeah, we had a pretty early call time just for setup. When we got there, we noticed that there were a few guests that were there early and probably staying at the venue with a couple. So we just took it as like an opportunity to sort of get an early start and sort of warm up.
I think everyone's a little skeptical at first, and I think that's for any kind of activation, whether it's like engraving or calligraphy. Everyone's kind of like skeptical and doesn't really think it's necessary until they see it actually being done. And they see the finished product with the reference person there, and then they see us sketching, and then it clicks for them, and they're like, oh, you're doing this live.
Yeah,
I can get one of these too.
Yeah, this bride knew what she wanted. She was on board for a very long time. I think her wedding party knew what we were doing, and they sort of helped spread the word too. She had a really fun crowd. It was just a really pretty venue. It was really peaceful. And then when the party got started, it was just so much fun. The speeches were so sweet. You can tell this is like a really tight group.
The venue coordinator was also really great.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, if you need more lighting, like we'll get some like emergency lanterns for you. So that was super helpful because we both had our lights, and then there were like string lights up above for like the dance area, but it still wasn't enough light. So having 2 extra lanterns was really helpful.
It was really cool to have like a coordinator who was very attentive to like what we needed and would come over and like offer solutions if what we had wasn't working.
Would you change anything for workflow?
I know that like to be efficient, we should simplify, but I love like the minor details, and that's always hard to let go of. And I know that like it'll take a little bit of time, but just the reactions that we're getting from people and they're seeing like their likeness, I'm like, I love that. I don't want to simplify features. I don't want to simplify personality. So it's hard. I'm like, I know I need to work on my timing, but in order to do that, you'd have to like simplify the detail. And I'm like, I'm not ready to do that yet.
Yeah, sacrifice quality for quantity.
Yeah. It's always fun to just do it with another artist too. So as much as possible, if you can ever team up with somebody.
I think it was helpful for both of us to like take turns taking photos of the guests. We didn't have like one person primarily just taking photos and uploading it to like an album. So that way you kind of get the same amount of guests on each photo album, and they're responsible for those specific people. I'm glad I brought clothes, extra clothes. So I was able to change and put some extra layers on as the temperature dipped. Like we got in there and it was like 80 degrees when we first got in. So we were sweating. And then during sunset, we had like sun rays in her face for at least an hour. And so we were trying to sketch with like the sun right there blaring in our face. Couldn't tell the colors, we're sweating and all that. And then the temperature dropped to like 55 degrees was when we left the venue. And so it was such a big temperature drop. Anything else you would do differently?
I probably don't need to pack as much. Now that I've gotten like semi-destination wedding under my belt, I don't need as much as I thought I did.
Which is, I think is fine. I think it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Yeah. I think, if anything, pack less markers because you don't need all of them.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you get there.
Yeah.
I think it was good to like try to clean up every time you like finish a guest. I ended up batching, but I think I ended up taking the same amount of time anyway.
I don't know. I think we did a great job. It was a lot of fun.
I liked it.
I look forward to doing more after...
Same. I definitely really like fashion illustration.
After some rest.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing being your partner.
Aww.
Amazing traveling with you.
Same. Thank you. I feel like we really lucked out, and it was probably like one of the smoothest events I've ever worked.
Thanks for watching our video. The fashion illustration event was 10 out of 10. Would definitely do again, especially in Lake Tahoe, like this beautiful outdoor space to just like relax in. It's really nice. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Drop questions that you have below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.